What would you do if the child you'd sacrificed everything for committed an act so cruel it made you question everything you thought you knew about them? In today's story, a mother's choice between her daughter's mental health and a harsh but necessary lesson in accountability is a masterclass in tough love. My name is Clara, I'm 45, and for years, my world has revolved around my daughter, Maya. At 15, she suffers from a social anxiety so severe that it's almost a physical presence in our lives. It's a crippling, debilitating force that has stolen so much from her, from friendships and extracurriculars to her very education. The weight of it became so heavy that 5 years ago, I left my career to homeschool her, and we began the long, arduous journey of therapy. For the past year and a half, her therapist and I have been working tirelessly, inch by inch, to get her comfortable enough to even attend a few classes at a school. I need you to understand this. I am not shaming my daughter for her anxiety. I see her struggle every single day. So, when her therapist suggested getting a service dog last month to help her navigate the overwhelming terrain of public settings, I saw a flicker of something I hadn't seen in a long time: genuine excitement. Maya was captivated by the idea. She seemed truly determined to push forward, with a canine partner by her side. Despite my reservations about the immense responsibility, I saw that spark of hope in her eyes, and I started the research immediately. I was completely unaware that in just a few short weeks, Maya would commit an act that would prove she couldn't be trusted with any living creature, let alone a highly trained service animal. A few weeks ago, I had to travel a few hours away to care for my sick mother. My husband, Mark, was on a work trip, so I left Maya with my sister-in-law, Sarah, for a few days. The plan was for Sarah to keep up with Maya's homeschooling as best she could. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was a frantic Sarah, demanding I come home and get my daughter immediately. My heart sank as she explained what happened. Sarah had to leave the house for a few hours and had asked Maya to look after her senior dog. This isn't some boisterous puppy, it's a very old, small dog that Sarah had adopted from a shelter just a year ago. She's still skittish and wary of people. In my absence, my daughter, in a twisted attempt to recreate some stupid internet video, had taken this tiny, elderly dog to the roof of the house and just left her there, phone in hand, to film the animal's terror. The poor thing was so petrified that she defecated on the roof tiles, shaking uncontrollably. Of course, the stunt didn't go as planned. In her panic, the dog fell off the roof, landing in the swimming pool below by some horrific stroke of luck. Her age and small size offered no protection. She suffered broken ribs and a shattered paw. When I heard this, a white-hot rage I had never felt before consumed me. I drove home in a blur and confronted Maya the second I walked through the door. She admitted it all, her face a mask of indifference. She told me she was just trying to copy a video she'd seen online. Then came the words that stopped my heart. "That dog is old," she said, shrugging. "If it were younger, nothing would have happened. It got worse." She told me she didn't think what she did was that bad, because it was just an unloved shelter dog, one with no real value like a purebred puppy or a service animal. And in that moment, I realized the problem might be far deeper than social anxiety. This revealed a chilling lack of empathy, a fatal flaw that no amount of therapy had yet touched. I looked at my daughter and felt like I was seeing a stranger. I have no idea where she learned such a monstrous way of thinking. Neither Mark nor I share those beliefs. I instantly told her, my voice cold and hard, "You will not be getting a service dog." Then came the second blow. "And you will pay Sarah's vet bill, every single cent of it." The bill was already in the thousands. Panic finally broke through her callous exterior. She protested, her voice rising, saying it was unfair, that she couldn't possibly get a job with her social anxiety. I just looked at her and said, "You should have thought about that before you tortured an innocent animal." As one commenter on my story would later write, a thought that solidified my resolve in that moment. "Honestly, your daughter kind of sounds like she has sociopathic tendencies. I wouldn't trust her with any living thing." Since then, Maya has been forced to look for a part-time job with minimal human interaction. Despite our help, the only position she could secure was as a waitress. I asked Sarah if she would consider letting Maya work off the dead at her home, but she refused, saying she had no interest in having my daughter near her or her dog ever again. I couldn't blame her, so I told Maya she had to make the waitress job work. This debt was her responsibility, and hers alone. My husband, Mark, thinks I'm being too harsh. He suggested we just restrict her pocket money until the bill is paid, but that felt like a cop-out. Her pocket money isn't earned. It's a weekly allowance we give her. That's not a punishment. It's just a minor inconvenience. This was her fault. The consequence had to be hers, too. To make matters more complicated, my daughter's therapist called me. She said she felt it was wrong of me to completely take the service dog off the table, framing it as a medical necessity. She also pointed out that forcing Maya so suddenly into a customer service job might be too daunting and could set back her progress. It was a point that another online observer shrewdly challenged, suggesting, "I'd suggest getting her evaluated by someone other than her current therapist. Her behavior is not normal." It made me wonder if the therapist truly understood the depth of the cruelty Maya had displayed. So now I'm torn. My husband and my daughter's therapist think I'm being the bad guy, that I'm being too harsh on a child with a diagnosed mental health condition. But my gut tells me that what she did goes beyond anxiety. It was a conscious act of cruelty, and without a severe, real-world consequence, I'm afraid of the person she might become. This story is a harsh reminder that accountability is non-negotiable, and that protecting a child from the consequences of their cruel actions does them no favors in the long run. Sometimes, the most loving thing a parent can do is to force their child to face the mess they've made. Was I right to force my daughter into a job that directly challenges her diagnosed anxiety, or was there another way to enforce such a severe but necessary consequence? Let me know what you would have done in the comments below.